Just revealed some new information on Social Security benefits. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in this video. Let's get right into it. All right, so as of recently, including those last couple videos from earlier today, we've been talking a lot about inflation. Well, in this video, we want to discuss inflation, Social Security, and a new report that was just released showing what is actually going on with benefits right now that may give us a little bit more of an explanation as to why Social Security benefits are so incredibly difficult to live on simply because it is not what they're calling a livable wage. Whether it's retirement benefits, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, or RRB, it's essentially the exact same story across all of these different benefits that actually send out to about 70 to 75 million beneficiaries every single month. So it's a lot of people out there who have been wondering, will we be getting a raise to our monthly benefits? Just like we've been talking about here on the channel for quite a while now. And we've also been trying to convince Congress into getting a raise, whether it's $200, $400, or something, raising benefits up to the federal poverty line. We've been doing many different things here on the channel trying to get some kind of raise out of Congress. But again, we can talk about all of that in a separate video. That is a completely different topic. I do want to talk about this report in this video right here and discuss what it actually means for Social Security benefits, and it may give us a little bit better glimpse into why these benefits are so incredibly difficult to live on a small fixed income benefit. So I have all those details for you. Let's get into it right away. But really fast before we do, if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. I am your one and only daily advocate, and I'm doing research all day, every single day, right here by your side, all day, every single day, helping you out in any way that I possibly can as I take all this information that I find, boil it down into the shortest videos possible, and deliver them to you a couple times each and every day, so that you can get the latest details hot off the wire as this information is being released, so that you can keep a pulse on what is actually going on. And anytime that something is released that we can take advantage of, whether it's money, benefits, programs, checks, stimulus, anything else like that, I want to make sure that you know about it immediately so that you can grab whatever you have coming due. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. It's totally free to do so, and let's get right into it. All right, so this new report that was just released, like I said, we want to talk about inflation, we want to talk about Social Security, and of course, this new report, because this is actually a little bit shocking, but at the same time, probably won't be all that surprising at the same time, simply because all of us are living in this situation right here, right now, but many of us probably don't really understand the magnitude behind this, and I want to be honest with you, I didn't understand the magnitude behind this either until I came across this report, and honestly, it's absolutely shocking, okay? So let me show you the details with this thing. All right, so the report shows that from 2020 until, let me take that back. 2000, the year 2000 until today. So 22 years of time. Well, technically, it's about 21 and a half years to be totally technical. So over the last, say, 21 and a half, so say 22 years of time, Social Security benefits have lost purchasing power by the tune of 40%. So 40% of your purchasing power of your monthly benefits has basically been depleted simply because of inflation and the annual cost of living adjustment not keeping up with that. So this report is showing that your benefits, essentially the purchasing power of your benefits, has depleted. Your dollars have depleted because of your monthly benefit by about 40% in the last 22 years. Let me give you a perspective. You get $1. It's not worth $1. It's worth 60 cents. That's the same difference. A depletion of 40%. However, get this, the report continues on. It shows that over that same period of time, the cost of living adjustment has actually raised benefits by 64%. Sounds pretty generous, right? A raise of benefits by 64% over the last 22 years. That seems pretty generous. However, here's the problem. Expenses for fixed income beneficiaries receiving Social Security have actually gone up on average 130%. So you can see this much. Expenses have increased over 22 years by 130%. Meanwhile, benefits have only increased by 64% as a result of the cost of living adjustment, right? So you can see the differences here where expenses have increased way further, more than double than what the cost of living adjustment has actually raised benefits, right? You kind of understand where I'm going with this? Yeah, this is what the report is showing. So now all of us are sitting here scratching our heads saying, why is it so hard to live on Social Security? Why do Social Security benefits only, give me $900 a month? $841 a month from SSI, all of these different things. And why is it so incredibly difficult to live on these benefits when this is supposed to be helping me out right now? Well, this would explain it exactly why, right? Expenses are going up at twice the rate of what the actual cost of living adjustment is actually coming out at, right? Again, the COLA raise is adjusted by inflation data. However, let's talk about this a little bit more clearly. So here's what's going on. So what's happening is inflation continues to move up significantly higher, right? However, the cost of living adjustment is actually pegged off of what they call the CPIW, which stands for Consumer Price Index for urban wage workers and clerical workers. However, that is what that is what the cost of living adjustment is actually pegged off of, is that CPI reading right there. However, what they should be running it off of is the CPIE, Consumer Price Index for the elderly, which better tracks expenses for fixed income beneficiaries. But get this, these inflationary data points are actually up 9.4% year over year, whereas just today we got the latest inflation data, which is up 8.3%. So you can see alone, just in the last 1 year alone, we're already short by 1.1%. Just on that one read alone, over 1 year's time. Now think about this. If we were to extrapolate this over the last 22 years of time, right? That's where we can see the COLA continues to fall behind every single year. And it may be a fraction of 1% every single year, but the fact of the matter is, it continues to fall behind. And because of that, the COLA is not keeping up with where it actually should be with real inflation for fixed income beneficiaries. So, this is a major report that was just released by the Senior Citizens League, and we know how we feel about the Senior Citizens League right here on the channel, right? We are huge advocates. We are huge fans. Pull out your flags. Whatever you got to do. I don't know. Whatever we got to do, but we are certainly very supportive of the Senior Citizens League because they are somebody just like us right here on the channel who is continuously working for raises to benefits as well as stimulus checks for the low income, for the fixed income, and to make things right for the low income and fixed income to make sure the benefits are adjusted in a way that actually raises benefits up to an equitable standard of living and a livable wage, just like the words that Congress enjoys using these days, right? Yeah, so anyway, this is that new report that I wanted to share with you, but I mean, honestly, did any of us in this community ever think that the purchasing power of our benefits has been depleted by 40% over the last 22 years? Has anyone ever thought that maybe expenses are actually raising at twice the rate of the cost of living adjustment every single year? Right. So yeah, I think that's why I was saying it's a little bit shocking. Honestly, when I read this report, I thought that's really shocking. You know what I mean? I knew that it was a little bit off, as in the COLA is obviously not enough each year, that the purchasing power of benefits has been falling behind, but I guess I didn't realize it was at a rate of 40% over the last 22 years, and that the COLA has basically moved up at half the rate of what it should have been moving up every single year. So to put that into perspective, for every year over the last 22 years, whatever the COLA was, whether it was 1.3% like it was last year in 2021, technically it should have been more than double that at about 2.6%. The COLA raise for this year, 2022, was 5.9%. It should have been more than double that at about 11.8%. Basically, all of these COLA raises over the last 22 years should have essentially been double plus a little bit more on top just to keep up with expenses going forward, right? So just to put that into perspective, we should have actually been looking at about an 11.8% cost of living adjustment this year in 2022 versus the 5.9% that they actually gave just to keep up with real living expenses. But again, I think all of us can probably say right now, even 11.8% probably wouldn't have even done it. Considering food prices, depending on what kind of foods you're looking at, you could be looking at anywhere between 16% on meats, 13.8% on eggs. You could be looking at like 13% on dairy products. So yeah, even 11.8% wouldn't simply be enough to raise the benefit from this year 2022. But it certainly would have been better than the 5.9%. At this point right now, the 5.9% that everybody's getting as a result of 2022, it's kind of funny, right? It's like laughable at this point. Last year when they announced the 5.9%, we thought, oh, wow, that's pretty generous. We're pretty excited, right? This is great. We're happy about that. But these days we're thinking 5.9, you guys are behind the curve by like 3%, at least 3% just this year alone. So anyway, just another example of where the whole system is not really keeping up for all the beneficiaries relying on these benefits every single month to kind of get by, pay for all the bills, pay for the expenses, pay for the food, the necessities, everything that everybody needs. So, wow. Anyway, I was completely shocked by this report. These are some big numbers here, and maybe it gives us a little bit more of a glimpse into kind of the system and, the benefits and Social Security, how it's a great system, but at the end of the day, it needs some massive reform, right? It needs a major overhaul to make sure that it can keep up with all the beneficiaries, as well as making sure that it is sending out a livable wage. Again, I love using that word now because that's what Congress is using as they're giving all their staffers a raise up to $45,000 a year, calling it a livable wage. Anyway, so I thought I'd just jump right on that bandwagon and say a livable wage because that's what they like to say. So, hey Congress, what do you say? Should we give all the 65 million beneficiaries of all these benefits to 70 million beneficiaries a livable wage? I think we probably should, right? Anyway. Oh, wow. Anyway, I just wanted to share this report with you. It just released, and this is, again, out of the Senior Citizens League. Check it out if you'd like to. Otherwise, this is all the details that is within that report. Otherwise, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share this video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,500 videos or thereabouts right here on the channel. And feel free to, share them with your friends, family, social media. And, of course, subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Always has been, always will be, and always will be 100% free to watch all the videos right here on the channel. Thanks again. I appreciate it. I'm here on your team advocating for you in any way that I possibly can be. Leave your comments, your questions, and your feedback down below. And I'll catch you again later in the next